is there a real world where Shedeur Sanders could be closer to QB3 than he is QB1? I think that could be reality, and I do wonder if somebody came calling for Shedeur, a team like the Jets, a team like maybe Atlanta, how crazy would that be to send him back to Kevin Stefanski? The Lions just saw Teddy Bridgewater walk back into retirement. I just feel like everything is on the table with this starting quarterback, backup quarterback, how they put together this quarterback room. And the only surefire thing is Deshaun Watson counting for $80 million against the team's dead cap. That's the one definite.
Well, if we shift outside of this quarterback competition, there is still plenty to look at in the developments across the roster here. So we are approaching the second week of training camp, the end of second week.
Cleveland Browns, ESPN Cleveland commentator radio show host had an idea about trading Shedeur Sanders. I'll let you guys take a listen.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to cut the crap here, and I'm just going to say it. And if you guys sling arrows at me, fine. Make me the bad guy. I think there's a real chance that the Browns are going to trade Shedeur Sanders now. Because I think they are going to start Watson, and because I think they think Shedeur is not well equipped for a variety of reasons to serve as a backup quarterback. I don't think anything is done. I don't think that the phone's blowing up for this guy. Guys, he went.
Nobody saw this coming. Not the Cleveland media, not the fans who spent the entire offseason defending him, and definitely not Shedeur Sanders himself. Because a Cleveland radio host just said the quiet part out loud. The Browns might actually be shopping their own quarterback. A guy who hasn't even started an NFL game yet. A guy the front office publicly calls part of an open competition. But here's the problem. The story coming out of Berea doesn't match what's happening behind closed doors, and that gap between what the Browns are saying and what insiders claim is really going on is about to blow this quarterback room wide open. Stay with me, because what happens next exposes something about this organization that a lot of people don't want to admit.
What do you make, though, of his rationale, right? If we want to disregard the messenger, what do you make of the message? Message being, if Deshaun's going to start, the Browns should trade Shedeur. What do you make of the message?
There's no future for Deshaun Watson, so why would we trade Shedeur? It's something I don't even get. You got a $200 million dud quarterback that you know you're not going to stick with. I mean, do you need more evidence, more proof? He's been bad. You've been bad. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what more does he have to show you? And then you got Shedeur, who's a fifth rounder. I hear what he's saying, right? But we've seen he's getting better and better, and he's still young. He's in his second year with a new head coach. Why not see what he got? That's why it doesn't make no sense. What are we talking about? So he's going to trade for him for who?
It started with one voice on Cleveland sports radio. A local host known for stirring things up dropped a bombshell live on air. He said there's a real chance the Browns move on from Shedeur Sanders. Not next year, not down the road, potentially before the season even starts. His reasoning? He believes the Browns are leaning toward naming Deshaun Watson the starter. And if that happens, he thinks the front office has already decided Shedeur isn't built to be a backup. Now, on its own, that's just one man's opinion. But it didn't stay contained. Within days, it was everywhere. Sports talk shows, podcasts, Twitter threads breaking down every angle. Because whether people believed it or not, it forced a question nobody wanted to ask out loud. Are the Browns actually done with Shedeur Sanders before he ever got a real shot? Here's where things get crazy. The moment that theory hit the airwaves, it got torn apart. Not from outsiders, but by people inside the football conversation itself. Their argument was brutally simple. Deshaun Watson is owed roughly $47 million this season. $47 million for a quarterback who hasn't finished a full productive season in Cleveland since he arrived. A quarterback recovering from multiple surgeries. A quarterback whose recent play has been, by almost every measure, rough. So the question hit hard. Why would you trade away a cheap, developing second-year arm to protect a $200 million contract that's already looking like a sunk cost? that's not even the most shocking part. Because if the Browns move Shedeur now, their quarterback room becomes Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel. 2 names, that's it. No safety net, no insurance policy if Watson goes down or struggles again. And in a league where injuries and slumps happen every Sunday, that's not just risky, that's potentially disastrous. Now pay attention to this. Shedeur Sanders was drafted in the 5th round, 140-something picks after teams started taking quarterbacks off the board. But here's where the media's argument completely falls apart. They want to judge him like a late-round afterthought, while treating every mistake he makes like a national headline, and every flash of talent like it doesn't count. You can't have it both ways.
Like, it's weird because we talk about Shedeur in one light as a 5th-round pick, but then we talk about him as a 1st-round talent. To your point, a 5th-round pick is not in a position to start year 2 at quarterback. Last one I recall, I believe, is Gardner Minshew. I think Gardner Minshew was the last one in Jacksonville, 6th-round pick.
But we gotta say this. See, I don't like to say he's a 5th-rounder because this is a different situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
First-round talent, many would suggest, but with the 5th-round pick.
But if he doesn't go out there and perform, he will be viewed as a 5th-round pick.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like he'll actually now this is a 5th-round quarterback.
It's low key. It's low key. Oddly enough, Shedeur's not in a terrible situation because if you play bad, it's like Ace 1 or 11. You play bad, we'll look at you like a 5th-round pick.
Yeah,
you play good, you a 1st-round talent.
You're a franchise quarterback.
Let's flip the script for a second. Remember Tim Tebow? Scouts questioned his accuracy, his mechanics, his fit at the next level, yet he still came off the board in the 1st round and got years of chances because of it. Johnny Manziel, same story, doubts everywhere, 1st-round pick anyway, extended leash because of that draft slot. Now flip it to Shedeur. Run the math on his rookie numbers as if he'd gone in the 1st round instead of the 5th to the exact same team in the exact same situation. Would the conversation sound anything like it does now? Almost certainly not. Because in the NFL, draft position doesn't just shape opportunity, it shapes patience. 1st-round picks get grace, 5th-round picks get judged after one bad series. That's the double standard sitting underneath this entire trade rumor. Not talent, not upside, draft slot politics. But let's steel man the other side for a second, because there is a version of this that actually makes sense. If the coaching staff privately believes their newest developmental quarterback, a rookie with elite physical tools, is closer to ready than people realize, that changes the calculus completely. If that's true, keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster stops looking like organizational chaos. It starts looking like a plan to quietly restock draft capital while they still can. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Some analysts pointed to a real precedent. A team once traded a 4th-round pick for a former high draft pick quarterback who had barely played in years. If that kind of value existed for a player with almost no tape, then in theory, value could exist for Shedeur too. But the counter-argument was just as strong. Why would the Browns trade a 5th-round pick for another 5th-round pick's worth of draft capital when they already have him under a cheap rookie contract? There's no rush, no desperation, no reason to sell low, unless something is happening behind the scenes that the public simply hasn't seen yet.
If Deshaun Watson goes out there and shows that he's the same Deshaun Watson that we've seen him be the past couple of times that we've seen him play quarterback for the Browns, you're going to get your opportunity to start. And this time, there is no... You get some leniency because you're a rookie. You have to go out there and you have to perform. You have to start winning some games.
Yeah.
And you have to look good while doing it. You need to at least do what Tyler Shuck did last year.
Yeah.
And that's the pressure on Shedeur Sanders. But it's make or break it time for him now. This is probably the best opportunity that a 5th-round quarterback can get heading into year 2.
That's a good point.
I'm sitting behind a guy. I'm 2nd string, and I'm sitting behind a dude that...
Now, let's talk about what's real right now on this roster. 4 quarterbacks are currently in that Cleveland quarterback room. A recovering veteran on a massive aging contract, a steady backup type, a raw developmental rookie with breakout physical traits, and Shedeur, the most talked about backup in football. That's not a normal quarterback room. That's a quarterback room in the middle of an identity crisis. And crowded rooms like this rarely stay crowded for long. Someone gets traded, someone gets cut, someone gets buried on the depth chart. The only question left is who. Here's the truth nobody's sugarcoating anymore. If Watson goes down or struggles the way he has before, Shedeur is getting his shot. That much seems certain. But this time, there's no rookie excuse left to hide behind. He has to go out, win football games, and look sharp doing it. The same bar every young quarterback in this league eventually has to clear. Because if he plays well, the fifth-round label disappears completely. He becomes a first-round talent who slipped through the cracks, a redemption story the whole league will be talking about. But if he struggles, every doubter gets exactly what they've been waiting to say. Told you he was a fifth-round pick. There's no in-between left. Not anymore. So where does that leave us? Trade rumors swirling, a front office publicly insisting there's an open competition, a veteran quarterback on an unmovable contract, and a second-year passer who somehow generates more attention than players picked 150 spots ahead of him. Whether you believe the Browns are truly done with him or think this entire story is manufactured radio noise, one thing is becoming impossible to deny. Shedeur Sanders keeps finding himself at the center of the story, no matter how hard people try to write him out of it. Every time they count him out, he gives them one more reason to keep watching. And in a league built on second chances, that might be the most dangerous thing of all. If you want more breakdowns like this on the Browns quarterback situation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.